Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to show you how I made this fun pocket. And it is really simple, just a couple folds, and we're ready to go. I am going to use one of my cards that I just used from my, just made in my last video. It fits beautifully in here. And then I got just a little tidbit, one of my little paint tidbits going to fit in here. And then I actually pulled off one of my little washi stickers, like they could be added later somewhere else. From my little books that I got recently. So I'm just going to tuck that in there. And I did also add one of the washies there. I cut it down a little bit. It was a tag and I shortened it down, but I added that to it, just a little pop of color. So this is really easy to do. I'm going to show you how I did it. Okay, so I'm going to make one that's actually going to fit for this card that I made in my last video. And I thought that would stand out nice against there. So we're going to use that one. And these papers are part of my scraps. It's kind of a bust a scrap kind of thing. But I'm not going to call it a bust a scrap video. It's just a regular pocket. And so this piece of paper is 3.5 inches wide. And the reason it's 3.5, and I've said this many times, but if you're new to my channel, maybe you haven't seen it, I'll take 12 by 12 pieces of paper down. I will cut a 1-inch strip down to make them 11, and then I'll cut them down to 8.5 to make an 8.5 11 to be able to run through my printer to print on the back side for journals. So what that leaves is a 3.5 inch by 11 piece of paper left that I've done numerous things for. So this originally was a 12 by 12 and is now 3.5 by 11. Okay, so if you don't start with 3.5, I'm going to show you how to figure this out on your own. If it's a little bit longer than 11, it's fine. A little shorter, it'll just end up how tall this back pocket is. It's adjustable, but this is the size I started out with. Okay, so whatever your first score is, whatever this width is, divided in half. So this width is 3.5. And I know math, 3.5 divided in half is actually 1 3/4. So we're going to score at 1 3/4. And I'm using this little stylus tool because this thing is wearing out the plastic and I don't get a good score on it. Okay, so we're going to score at 1 3/4, and then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to score at 1 3/4 here to divide it in half. We're going to cut this part down to make these triangle flaps. Okay, but I'll cut that in a bit. Okay, so after you got it 1 3/4, I'm going to fold it up just to make it a little easier to do. All right, so from the bottom of wherever you score. So if you have just a 3-inch wide paper, you're going to score at 1.5, and then you're going to score at 1.5. So you're going to fold it up so this square is gone. So from this bottom part, you are then going to score up at 2.5 inches. So wherever the bottom is, you're going to score at 2.5 inches. And then you're going to add another 2 inches, so we're going to be at 4.5. And those are the scores. So if it's longer or shorter, whatever part past this amount, which is approximately, like 6 1/4. Whatever is bigger than that, 6 1/4, is going to be your height of the back of the pocket. So if you had a lesser sheet, it's just going to be a little shorter. Okay, so let's put that away, and we're going to put this away because the scoreboard is done. All right, so I'm going to trim this, and just to that first fold. Okay, and we're gonna put it up this way, and we're gonna do that. All right, these are going to get folded down eventually to make the triangle. Now, if you have double-sided, it's not a big deal, but if you have single-sided, it's a bit white. You might want to use that opportunity to give a little ink back here just to make it less white. So I'm just inking it off camera. For this one, I'm just using a little bit of vintage photo. This one, I think I put some blue on the back that I had laying around. Of course, I didn't do the part on the bottom there. We're gonna get it. Okay, so I did that just in case my fold for the triangles is a little off. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold this down. Whoops, not that way. We're gonna fold it down this way to make a pocket. I'm gonna do our best to get it to be lined up, and that one actually worked pretty good. Let's see if I can do this one. You know, as soon as I say I'm doing pretty good is when the second one decides it wants to be painful. And it is a little painful, but it's okay. Oops. All right, so we're going to throw a little glue on here just to shut the flap. And there we go. Shut the flap. Shut the flap. All right, and then you're going to glue the flap. All right, so we got our first pocket. It's a little crooked, but we're okay. Just gonna there. Oh, there we go. Now you hardly even know if it was crooked. Okay, so the next fold is we are going to fold up at this higher one. And we're going to fold down. And that makes that first pocket. Or whichever pocket you want to call it. Okay, so if you want to, this one, I did, can't see it. This one, I did a little bit of a little divot. You can if you don't want to. This pattern paper is a little bit, I don't know what you want to call it, confusing. It's not very separated, but if you've got paper that you can tell that there's a pocket there, then by all means don't do that. I'm just going to throw a little ink on there just to show that there's a difference. I probably could have inked this part right there just to show that there was pockets. All right, and then all we're going to do is we are going to glue up that pocket. And, whoops, glue up that pocket. And if you want to round the edges at the top, that is really thin paper. So let's there we go. Now, I don't think you can, I think you can use thin paper like this because it's folded onto each other. You could definitely use some thicker paper. All right, so once that is said and done, you have to flip up this and glue this down. Now, technically, if you wanted to, you can make this a hidden journal spot, but I would probably suggest not doing the little thumb hole, so that when you could glue the pocket down, just this short part, and then this ends up flipping up, and I can't show you now because I've glued it. But that would be another option for this. And it's a little bit sticking out. All right, so we're just gonna ink around the edges to camouflage any misfoldings that I did, which I did a few. And there we go. It is done. That is the pocket. So like I said, you could take this whole thing, glue it down, and it could just be a pocket on a page. You could do a couple sides and have a side tuck pocket. Yeah, lots of options. Let me pin this up, glue this up before I forget. I left it unpinned yesterday, and it was laying on its side. I didn't even notice it, and it was stuck. I had to take it apart. Okay, that is it. And the lovely journal can go right in there. And I'm going to just take this to borrow it. Little cards right in there. You can put one on each side, or you can put them together like that and have one singular like that. Come on, there we go. Or put two, one in each corner. That's really just a throw off, not really a tag, but you get what I'm talking about. You catch what I'm talking about. All right, so for decorating, there's not a lot of places on here to decorate. For this one, oh, my washi's coming apart here. I'm gonna have to not stick it in a pocket. I have to use it soon though. For this, I did decorate up in the corner for that washi, as well as putting a little tidbit down here. I hesitate to put stickers and stuff where pockets go in, because I feel like it could wear off going in and out of pockets. So I try not to too much do that. But I think that washi tape is going to be okay where it is, being up high. And that tidbit is going to be good right there. So let's see if we can find a little tidbit number to put down there. And I think I'm going to put one of these numbers because they're brown and I like them. And I think we'll just do the number 8. Let's put the number 8 over there, because there's some of the browns in there, and it's kind of got a mottled look to it, kind of similar to those flowers. I like it. I like when you open the first page and it pops out, and that's the one you like, right? Very cool. I love it. So easy, right? All right, well, that is all I think I'm going to show you. I'm not going to make any more because it's pretty standard, straightforward. And yeah, short but sweet, right? I love it. So start with a 3.5 inch or whatever size you want and go from there from the measurements, and do a couple folds and a couple glues, and you have a fun pocket with some fun little accent pockets. Cute. I like it. Okay, well, that is going to be it for me today. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave it below. If you haven't joined and subscribed to my channel, please do so. I still have quite a few bust to scrap videos. Like I said, I'm not going to call this one bust to scrap, even though those pieces of paper are kind of scraps for me. It's just a pocket video. But I am working on that bust to scrap series. That's been really, really fun to do. And yeah, so like the channel and subscribe, so if you get a chance, you'll get a chance to be notified of when those pop up. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.